You're locked into the only podcast for Maine high school basketball. The biggest names, past and present. It's Big Time Hoops, the podcast, right now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Big Time Hoops, the podcast. And we got a big timer, someone who's shooting up player rankings, making noise, all kinds of stuff going on. Fresh from a workout. That's how busy she is. She's putting in the work. We got Amanda. She just told me I'm going to butcher it. Kabantu.
Kabantu.
I told you I was going to mess it up too. I'm terrible with names, but my bad. We got Amanda here, Portland High. And you've had a busy little stretch during COVID, made your college decision, made some noise at the top 30 camp, just shooting up the player rankings. I think, top 5 is what they had, the Northeast player ranking. I think had you in the top 5 in your class. So, busy. What's going on? How's the summer of COVID been for you?
I mean, I've adjusted to it. It's definitely different than other summers, but I mean, I enjoy it as much as I can.
Just curious, like pre-COVID, what were you anticipating for your summer being like versus what it's actually been like?
I was actually expecting more because I had a tournament in DC and I was really excited about it. It was like at the end of July. And honestly, I was waiting for like my AAU season to be like halfway down to make my decision. But with COVID, and I know that I wasn't going to have much of an AAU season. So I was like, why not make my decision right now? So it's been a bummer, but I'm glad. I'm really confident with my decision, and I'm really, really, really excited, and I can't wait to go there and play it for Bentley.
Bentley. Speaking of Bentley, we had Brooke Obar on the podcast last week, another Bentley. So the main pipeline of Bentley's in full effect. So you talked about AAU. So have you even played any AAU ball at all this summer? Or has it just been completely shut down for you?
Well, with my program, they decided to not have any AAU season. They prioritize the safety of players and everyone else. So I think I'm pretty happy with what they decided to do. But we didn't have any season at all, so I've just been working out at home a lot and playing with people at the top 30 camp, which was really, really, really nice because I haven't done that in such a long time.
Yeah, and I was going to say, as a competitor, it must be like just a bummer because I'm guessing you just love to hoop, you just love to play, and then take away summer AAU season. It's kind of like, what am I supposed to do right now? I mean, because this has got to be like the first summer in your life where like you just don't have that outlet, right? That summer basketball outlet.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was really sad. I was like, I mean, the best way to get in basketball shape is to play basketball. I would shoot around at home and just like run outside, but it just doesn't feel the same when you don't play with other people.
Absolutely. So You mentioned the top 30 camp, you mentioned your college decision, so we'll get to all that. But I want to go back to the beginning because I've talked to several people and they always say, man, you got to hear Amanda's story. Like, she's got a story and how she got here. So I want to hear it. So Portland, Maine right now, but what's the story? Well, how did you grow up?
Well, I grew up in Congo. It's like a country in Africa. Love it. Beautiful country. And I played basketball since I was really, really young. I was like six years old. And back home, I have like a family of I'm one of 11 children, and the majority of them, sorry, my dad is coming in, so
That's all right. That's all
right. So the majority of them were boys. Like we had like 7 boys in my family, and 6 of them played basketball. And ever since I was young, they would always take me and go play with them. That's how I started to have a passion for basketball. And then that's how I played basketball. I played in an academy for like my whole life until I got here. I got here for like a tournament, but then after the tournament was over, my cousin was here, who I was supposed to live with and everything, but then he got a job back in California, and we had just moved here in Maine from California, and we didn't want to go back there because we already started school and everything was going so well for us. So since we're all under 18, we couldn't live on our own, so like we had to have an adult as a guardian, and Grace my sister now, she talked to her family and they took us in, and it's been amazing since then. And I absolutely love it. I couldn't have it any other way.
So that's quite the journey from one continent to another, and then especially like coming from Congo to a place like Maine, just complete polar opposites. But I want to touch on the basketball portion of it real quick. So obviously you got into it really young. What's the biggest difference between youth basketball in Congo versus youth basketball here in the States?
Well, I mean, I don't know how to put it. Like, I feel like youth over there, they take it like way too seriously. Back home, it's like, I don't know, they work really, really hard. Not to say that people, like young people here, don't work as hard, but they just work extra hard. And it's like hard. They don't have the best facilities and they don't work under best conditions. We don't have indoor gyms, so you had to work outside. It'd be like raining and you'd still be out, and it'd be like really, really hot and you'd still work outside. No AC, no anything. So like, I mean, they just like try to prove something, but we don't have a lot of opportunity back there. That's the only difference. Kids here get to be seen, and they have hope and they have dreams, and they know that those dreams can come true. But like back there, like back home, it's just not the same.
Yeah, so I'm guessing just the way that you guys play growing up, and you mentioned having a bunch of older brothers, like it just instilled a work ethic in you, right? Like you just wanted to get better, and it also just kind of made you tough, right? I'm guessing from a very young age you learn like nothing's going to be easy for me. I got to work for everything, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So what year did you actually get into Portland? When did you actually settle into Portland?
It was the fall of 2017.
Okay. And the nice thing about sports, it's a great way to meet people. It's a nice way to kind of integrate yourself into a community. So I'm guessing basketball was kind of like your refugee, right? When you got here, that was the one thing that you had from back home that you could take with you here, right? So I'm guessing you just kind of dove right into basketball.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I remember the day I got here, we flew in from California, and then we drove here from Boston. It was like at midnight, and then the next day I heard like about the YMCA, and by the time I was living really close to the YMCA, and the very next day I just told my dad that you have to give me a membership, and the very next day we just like go there and play basketball, and that's how I met the very like a lot of people from my school, from Portland High School, and that's how I started to make friends.
What was the biggest culture change or biggest culture difference for you? And also, like, what time of year did you get here? Because, I mean, if you came, from California to Maine and it was wintertime when you showed up here, or, that could scare anybody away. But, like, when you got here, like, what was it wintertime or was it summertime at least? So it was a little bit easier of a transition?
It was easier because it was in the fall. So
Okay.
I got here in the fall. But then my first winter, I was like, this was just the wrong state for me to move in. Like, it's just like, it was so brutal. It was so cold. I've never been that cold in my whole entire life. But I mean, I'm still not used to it 100%, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, I've been here my entire life and I'm still not used to it. I still, every year, I'm like, God, it's cold here. I never get used to it.
Yeah.
Nice thing about basketball, though, is you play indoors, right? So you mentioned getting your little membership with the Y and just kind of jumping into it, making friends that way. So 2017, did you show up right in time for high school?
I showed up in the fall, and then I had to make a choice between Portland and Deering, and I've already met a lot of people who went to Portland, and it was just really close to where I live, so I decided to go to Portland in the fall.
And at that point, I'm guessing you had no idea about Maine high school basketball or the rivalries or, the ramifications of picking Portland over Deering or what could happen the other way. So what was your first introduction to actually Maine high school basketball?
It was weird because back home we didn't have any sports seasons like we here in the fall you do soccer, football, and everything. But at home, if you played one sport, it'd be that one sport the whole year. So I started school and I was people were playing volleyball, and I understood that because you choose a sport and then you get to do that sport. And I was I don't see any basketball players. I don't hear of any basketball games or whatever, what's going on. And they say no, here basketball starts in the winter, so December. And I was here in I started school in October and I was like, 2 months, that's like a lot for me. Like I could not take it. I could just like not wait for that long. But I just like practice alone, and I met a lot of basketball players and we would just like have some pickup basketball and it was fine, and then we started the season and it's completely different. Like I didn't know like about the rivalries, how they take it seriously. So my first year was like learning, and then I got to know it, and then my second year I got into it.
And how about just adjusting in terms of style of play? Because I mean, obviously you grow up playing a certain style of basketball, and then you kind of like even like in the country, different parts of the country, they play different style of basketball. Maybe some more physical in some parts, more fundamental in other parts. So just talk about the adjustment in terms of style of play. Was it a lot different compared to what you were used to growing up, or was it a pretty easy transition for you?
Honestly, it was really, really difficult for me, like with the basketball style. At home, it's like such a fast-paced, quick, like, and way physical than here. Like, so my first year, I can never forget this. I would get at least 5 travels in the game. I get called for 5 travel in the game, and I would almost fall out every single game. And I'd be like, I just don't know how to play. I don't know what to do because
Yeah.
it's just not as physical as home. And then I went back to AAU. It was completely different from high school. It was just like it reminded me of how I played back home. So I was like, I just need to adjust. Like for high school, it's not as intense as AAU and back home. So I just need to find a way. I need to find the way to ease into high school. And then when I go back to AAU, I just go back to the older me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've adjusted well because you've been on the rise ever since you got here. You're just getting a little bit better every year. We talked about how you didn't know about rivalries and stuff like that. All this stuff was brand new to you. So what was like your first introduction to the rivalries? Obviously, Portland, Deering, and all the other schools in the city. What was like your first, what's the moment that kind of stands out when you look back, like this is your introduction to rivalry basketball in the city?
It definitely was our game against during high school, the basketball game, because I like kind of came in late into the fall sports, so I didn't get to watch any of the. I think I watched the playoffs, but not during the regular season. So when we got into basketball, our first game against during high school, we played like a lot of games before that. We didn't have a big student section. It would be just like mostly parents and just like not really too crowded. But I remember we played, it was during the Christmas tournament, and the boys played before us. So I walked into the gym and I was like, oh my God, it's so crowded. And I just got too nervous. And then I was like, maybe it's just because it was the boys' game. Like people like watching the boys, not the girls. And then I went in the locker room and I came back out, still crowded. And I was like, wow. And I could hear like student sections like during chanting and then Portland chanting. And I was like, wow. And then my coach was also talking about it. And like, we haven't been during in such a long time. It has to change today. Like, you have to win today. Like, and I'm like, you don't say that. Like, when we play other teams, you just say, do your best and win if you can and just give it out there. But when we're playing during, you were so focused on like winning and just, yeah. It literally got me too nervous. I don't think I've ever been that nervous before a game. And I was like, wow.
It's good stuff. I mean, it's great rivalries, it's great environments, and well, you guys get a lot down there versus some of the other parts of the state as the student sections. They're just rowdy, loud, and fun and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like your introduction to the rivalry and just what the competition's all about in Maine girls high school basketball. What was and then you also mentioned how it took you a while to kind of get used to the change of style of play, physicality, rules, stuff like that. When did things start to finally click for you? Like when did the game actually start to slow down? You kind of figured out, what you can do, what you can't do, and then obviously played better as a result of that.
I think my high school coach and my AAU coach helped me a lot about that because they were realizing I wasn't scoring as much as I should be scoring, and it's because I was doing everything too quick and I just didn't have control. I was losing control when I was going too fast. So was not thinking. I just like go off my instinct, and that was not the way it works in high school. So they were just like helping me work. My high school coach worked with me a lot during practice, just teaching me how to slow down. It was hard. I had to work on it for a very, very long time before it clicked in. And when it clicked in, I could feel when it like clicked in, like definitely. And it just changed my game. It's like amazing because I'm not, honestly, I can tell you that right now, I'm not a big shooter. And when people realize that, they would just like give me room to shoot, and I would not shoot. I would always try to go to the basket. And that like just like messed up my game. At home, everyone plays man to man, no zone at all. And I came here, I got zone, and I was like, why do I do that? The only way to break zone is to shoot the basketball. So I had to learn how to slow down, pull up my jump shot off the dribble, not go to the basket all the time. And that helps me a lot.
And then also you mentioned AAU basketball, so you run with the Firecrackers, and it's just nothing but talent in that Firecracker program. So what did you take away, or what did you learn from being surrounded by other great players? I mean, obviously, when you're suiting up for Portland, obviously it's you and your cousin are the two best players on the team, and usually the focus of everyone else's defensive game plan and stuff like that. What's it like to actually be surrounded by a lot of great players? Like, what do you take away from that? How has playing with the Firecrackers made you a better player?
I mean, it's like the best thing that has ever happened to me in basketball, because the thing that I've told myself, and I was like, if I stop a great player like Anna Dwarf, Gracie Martin, and all the other like players, I could stop anybody. And if I could score on them, then I could score on anybody. So I always went to practice every day, and I was like, just try to be better and make my teammates better. That's what it was all about. And that's what our AAU coach always told us, was like, if you care about your teammate, you're going to work extra hard so you can push them to be better every day. And that's what I did. I mean, it was brutal. It was really hard. The first couple of practices, it was like, oh my God, like, how do I stop them? But I just like did not give up. I was just like so positive and worked really, really hard and watched them all the time and steal away all the little things that I saw from them and try to apply it to my game. And it was really great.
And things are starting to click, obviously, because you're playing at a great level. And everyone I talk to says that you haven't even scratched the surface. So you got so much better that you can get. That's the scary part. But now that you've been here for a little bit, you're familiar with Maine high school basketball. I'm sure now you know what the state championships are all about, what the tournament's all about. So you guys haven't gone all the way yet, but I'm guessing you got one more year. You got you and Jemima, right? Did I say it right? No, you told me
Yes.
after that. Okay, yes, nailed it. All right, I got one name right. You and Jemima, probably two of the top 5 players, probably in the state on the same team. So you guys got to be favored to get that gold ball this year. You guys are going to be stacked. What are the goals? I'm guessing state championship for this year, right?
Oh, that's for sure. I really hope that we have a season so I can just get there. I feel like I would not be happy going to college without getting one gold pool. That's the thing. And I'm really, really confident with our team. And if we work hard enough, we'll get there. And like, I'm pretty sure that we'll get there if we work hard enough. And we're this close last season from getting there. But we just couldn't get it past Oxford Hills. But I mean, we have a pretty solid team coming next year, and I believe we'll get there.
So also I wonder this, because like when you first got here, you probably didn't quite know like state championship, what that meant, or the tournament, how it worked and stuff like that. So maybe like when you lost freshman year, sophomore year, you're kind of like, okay, but like I'm guessing now like last year's loss probably stung a lot more than freshman and sophomore year because you knew what the ultimate goal was. So I'm guessing like right now, like you care, like this is what you're invested in, like now it all makes sense. Like when things are starting to click for you, you know what's on the line right now and you just can't wait, right?
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
What's it like having such a talented teammate on your team and with your cousin? I mean, you see at a lot of programs, there'll be, 2 or 3 great players, but they're spaced out like different grades and stuff like that. But you and Jemima are the same age, both going to be seniors, 2 of the best players in the state. Like, what's that like having someone in practice with you every day who's on your level that can push you? And I'm guessing you guys kind of push each other, right? I mean, I'm guessing you guys are super competitive.
Oh, I mean, it's really great and annoying at the same time. Because I mean, I've played with her since I like started playing basketball. She's my cousin. I grew up with her. I played with her all the time, and she knows me too well, and I know her too well. So we happen to guard each other in practice all the time. So like I'm like, how do I score? Because she knows every single move that I'm gonna make, and when I think I'm like doing something different to get her, she just knows it, and it's like the same way all the time. And it's really annoying because you feel like when you practice and you don't score it or you don't do great because you have someone guarding you who knows too much about you, feel like you're not getting better, but you actually are without knowing it. That's the only way of knowing it is. But it's also so great because I mean, I know her, and I'm like, when I'm the only one who can stop her in the team and nobody else can stop her, I feel pretty good about myself. And I'm like,
it's got to give you that confidence too. Like when you guys hit the floor too, like it must just feel good knowing you got a killer with you right side by side that's going to the battle with you, and just someone that you can trust and have your back, right?
yeah. I mean, it's just amazing. I'm so lucky to play with them for high school because I know them, and it just like becomes so helpful during the games because I know when to get her the ball, and I know when she's gonna score. I know when she's gonna pass, but it's not like that with everyone else. And when the game is on the line, that helps a lot.
Yeah, exactly. I wish I had someone like that on my team when I was playing, you know?
But honestly, I'm done with her. Like I could not go to college with her. I think I can go my own way now.
You guys are going your separate ways. So this is the last dance right here. This is it.
Yeah.
Hopefully it results in a gold ball.
Yep.
So you mentioned
we can play pickup together, just not in college.
Yeah. So you mentioned how you had to adjust to the way teams played you early on, where they give you space, and you always wanted to drive and stuff like that. So what have you gotten better on? Like, what specifically have you worked on this summer to add to your game to come back just lethal for senior year?
Honestly, since we've been quarantined, the thing that I've been most focused on is the pull-up shot. Like, just drive off the dribble, pull it up, and make it. And that's the only thing I feel like I would need the most in high school because I did not have that at all. I mean, if I can go to the basket, if I can shoot, then I don't know if there's a way to be stoppable when you can do both. Because just as soon as they give you space, you can shoot, and when they come way too close to you, you go to the basket. And I've been working on that a whole lot, like a lot, and I think it's getting better. It's not there yet, but it's getting definitely better.
I saw some footage from the top 30 camp. I saw it in action, and it looked good.
Thank you.
Yeah. What else have you been doing to get ready for the summer here? I mean, obviously you're going to be going to college after this, so you're obviously going to make that jump. Well, what else do you need to get better on between now and when you get to Bentley? What do you got to add to your game?
Besides the jump shot, I still need to work on my defense and rebounding because those are the two things that I love the most about basketball, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I've been working on getting stronger because when you go to the college level, everything is better, faster, and stronger. So I've been working on getting stronger and staying healthy.
So we don't want to look too far down the road because we still got senior year to get through, but mention that you did make your decision to go to Bentley, and kind of COVID kind of played into that because you didn't want to, you didn't get an AAU season maybe to get more looks and stuff like that. But what was it about Bentley that made you confident enough to make that decision and decide to go there?
I mean, I don't know if it was just one thing. I think it was everything that made me decide to go to Bentley. I mean, I know I want to go to school for business. I want to do business in college, and that's a great school for business. But looking at the program and the people there, the way they leave, it's just I felt like I went there a couple of times, and every time I went there, I felt comfortable. And every time I stepped, I went to Bentley, I felt like I belong here, and I can't wait another second. Like their style of playing, their staff, like the coaching staff is just so amazing, and the academic part too is one of the biggest things, one of the main reason why I chose to go there. But basketball and everything else just so amazing, and I belong there.
And that's what felt good just to get that decision off your shoulders, so you don't need to worry about that going into senior year, right? You can just ball out.
Yeah. Yeah. And also I was happy. That's like another benefit of going to Bentley. I get to play with my two firecracker teammates.
So who else? Brooke and who else?
Maggie Whitmore.
Oh yeah, Maggie. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I forgot about Maggie. True. Yeah, two of them. Yeah.
One.
So we talked about briefly the top 30 camp, and you had a lot of fun there. So what do you take away from the weekend? It's not very often that you get to be in the same gym as 60 of the best players in the state. So what was that like for you? What would you take away most from the top 30 camp?
I mean, it was amazing. By the way, Ben Tier is an amazing guy. Absolutely love his game and everything. He's a great guy. He just watched me play for a day, and the next day he came up to me with something to help my game improve, and I tried that, and it worked. And I was like, wow, this is an amazing guy. So I had so much fun. I mean, just like being surrounded. Like I play with those people, against those people all the time, and being able to play with some of them and have fun and put away that competitiveness of high school and just like play with each other, have fun, laugh, love the game together. It was just amazing. I had too much fun. Too much, I think. Wow. But yeah, and the shooting guy came in and he just like talked a little bit about the main things about shooting. And I mean, I take away every single time someone talks about shooting, I try to take away something and put it on my shooting, because I know that it needs to get a lot better than it is right now. And it was just great.
What can you say about the overall talent level in Maine right now with girls high school basketball? I mean, we mentioned it was the 60 best girls in the state. And, I mean, I wasn't there, but I saw the clips and stuff like that. And it just seems like it's just loaded with talent right now. I haven't actually been on the court with the girls. You know, what can you say about the overall talent level right now for Maine girls high school basketball?
Honestly, I feel like Maine has the biggest talents ever that I've ever seen. Like, I mean, I was just sitting there playing against people that I never knew had that much talent, and I was just sitting there watching them play, and I was just screaming. You should have seen my facial expression every time someone did something. And I was just like, this is insane. We don't get recognized for that. We don't get as much attention as we should be getting. I mean, Maine has like the best players ever. Like, I mean, I was just looking at everyone else and I was like, wow, I didn't know you were that good. Like, what's happening? Like, it's just, people don't talk about our talent as much as they should be. And I feel like other like schools, like colleges, pass up on like great talent just because we're not as known or as big as other states.
And that's part of the reason for the podcast right here, just to show love to the girls, especially the girls, just because it's like you said, like there's so much talent top to bottom, and it does get slept on, and it's not right because girls' product is maybe better than boys, you know, just maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Who were some of the girls that kind of stood out from you that maybe you didn't know or weren't familiar with? Who were some of the ones that kind of caught your eye?
I feel like I know the majority of them, but I just like didn't get to know them, like get close to them and actually get to watch them as close as I did at the camp. Like, I mean, Sarah Talon, she's insane. Like, she's really good. Like, Nevaeh, Sloan, all those people, Ciara. And I was just like, and the other thing is they're really young.
Yeah.
They're not that old, and like they're really talented. And I'm like, this is, I don't know what to say. I'm just like amazed. I was just like looking at them every time. I would either yell, fall on the floor, scream. I mean, by the end of the day, I came back home and I lost my voice. I was like, yeah, this is from screaming, from what I saw.
That much fun right there.
It's not allowed. We shouldn't be having that much fun.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. That's what it's all about. I want to hear 3 of your goals for next season here before you graduate. What are your 3 basketball goals?
Wow. You know, the ultimate goal, of course, like, so to get the gold ball and The second goal is like to like be as good as I want to be on shooting. And the third goal is to make my teammate better so that they leave a legacy when they like go off and do amazing things. I just want to leave a legacy at Portland and be like a role model for like the young people who are coming after me and inspire them to work as hard as I do and I did and do the same.
It's inspiring right there. That's good stuff. Normally people don't get that deep on there. I like that.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go Kobe mode. So a couple years ago, Kobe was tweeting goals for individuals. Rest in peace to Kobe. He was tweeting goals for different NBA players. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw one out there for you. Miss Basketball. Let's go ahead and get Miss Basketball. All right. You got some serious competition. Very talented class. Emily Archibald, Camille Clement, yourself, Jamima. So all kinds of talented players. But we're gonna throw it out there. We're gonna throw the challenge at you to go get Miss Basketball. That's the challenge that I'm gonna throw out there for you. And I think it's attainable. You know,
I mean, I think it's attainable, but right now, that's not the thing that's on my mind right now. It's like getting the gold ball and helping people, like helping my teammate getting better, like pushing them to work out and getting the best out of them. And if the Miss Basketball comes in the way of that, then I'll be happy. But that's not the thing that I think about every day when I go to bed.
For now, right now, you don't have to worry about it. I'll worry about it for you. Okay. If you go get the gold ball, then the Miss Basketball is probably going to follow. So worry about that goal, and then I'm sure everything's falling into place. Yeah. Before we get up out of here, I always give my guests a chance to kind of say anything they want to get off their chest, any rumors they want to clear. If they want, I've been trying to get college commitments out of people, but you already committed, so I can't get that out of you. Any breaking news, whatever you want to say, the floor is yours before we get up out of here.
I don't know. There's no rumors about me. At least I don't know any rumors that you know anything that they're saying about me?
I haven't heard anything. I was just throwing it out there for potential ideas for what you could say. But whatever you want to say before we get up out of here. Now's your chance.
I mean, there's nothing to say. I just want to say thank you, and thank you to all the people that have been like around me, helping me get better, supporting me, and I really, really appreciate it. Ever since I've got here, I've got nothing but love from people, and it's made me so happy.
There we go. That's it. That's it right there. I got one more question for you. I just thought about it. So you mentioned now, like whenever you first got to Portland, like one of the first items on the agenda was to get a membership with the Y. But we talked about where you worked out tonight. So I'm curious now, like now that you've been here for a little bit, what's your favorite spot? What's your favorite gym to go get a workout in or a place to go get a run at? Like what's your one spot in the Portland area? If you had to make a choice to, like I said, either go play pickup or work out, what's your favorite spot in Portland?
I'd say my house right there in my driveway.
All right.
For pickup basketball. Definitely there. I mean, it's not like a full court, but it's like a half court setup of a basketball court. And like sometimes I just have friends over and we play 2-on-2, 3-on-3, or 4-on-4. We can just go 5. We can go 5-on-5, but it's too crowded. I absolutely love it. We have too much fun. And I feel like it's better for me working outside. So like when I go in, it's a lot easier with the condition.
Yeah.
And for running, I usually just run outside at home in the neighborhood, and that's it.
That's it. There you go. You heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Best gym, best spot in Portland is the driveway. It's a little information for the youth out there. Don't be afraid to go outside and work out in your driveway. It's a great spot. You can get it in right there. You don't need a nice gym. Just hit the driveway. It'll make you better.
Best spot. I mean, I love working at the expo. I mean, I don't get it every day. I mean, I get to meet some Red cosplayers over there, but if I can make shots on my not too nice hoop outside, I can make any shot on that really nice hoop.
That's great advice. That's great advice for everybody out there who's trying to get better. If you can shoot outside, you can shoot inside. So don't be afraid to hit up the driveway. Shout out to Amanda for coming through on Big Time Hoops. We wish you nothing but the best of luck. Hopefully the season goes playing the schedule, and Portland's going to be stacked. So anyone looking to watch some really good basketball, the Portland girls, probably the team to beat. And I'm definitely hoping to catch a game or two this winter. So hopefully things go good. So best of luck to you. Thank you for coming through. Make sure everyone's checking out all of our previous episodes up there on YouTube, on Facebook, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play. It's everywhere you can get your podcast. It's up there. So check that out. But we'll see you next week with another big time episode of Big Time Hoops. Hey, thanks, Amanda. I appreciate that.